Day 2 of NFL free agency. It's in the books, we think, for the most part. Let's talk about it next here on Upload Live, Tuesday night edition. Tighten up, everybody. Let's go. Welcome, everybody, to Tuesday Night Lights. Yes, it is Tuesday, and yes, it is free agency day 2, which is kind of crazy, isn't it? To think like free agency technically hasn't really kicked off officially. That's Wednesday when this party can officially get started, but everything's pretty much already shaking and baking, and here we are. Shout out to Jay and Al and Clayton for being in here. So this is what we got here on this jam-packed action show, which will be 25 minutes. Hopefully, we'll try to get cooking. So we got NWI Stonehouse Effect. They're both gone. Xavier Woods signs. Bad versus good, which is kind of the Tennessee Titans' new way, which I think it's pretty obvious what the Titans are trying to do. Chad Brinker and co. And I'll get to that in a little bit. 24-hour Dan Moore. What are you guys thinking about our buddy old Dan Moore Jr., the $82 million man? We'll talk a little bit about him. And then we still need some edge, and we still need some wide receiver help. And ultimately, I think most of us feel like this show, this road is going to lead down a quarterback from Miami and Cam Ward. So let's dive into this. NWI and Stonehouse both gone. Now, personally, am I upset that NWI is gone? No, I'm not upset about it. I didn't want the Titans to overpay. We talked about this last night in our free agency show to kick off at 9-15 or whatever. But I told you, like, I'm not paying. Some of you are like, don't pay NWI $7 to $8 million a year. No way. No way. The last 2 years, NWI has went around the league trying to find a team to play for. He's come up short both times, comes back to the Titans. Now, he had a really good year last year. I will argue, I've argued this. I'm not going to keep, going down this road, and I'll try to get it quickly. But I will argue that the fact that if you wanted to shut down the Tennessee Titans, you put man coverage and you bring them up. You bring up your corners and you make life heck for the Titans. That's what you would do. And again, Calvin Ridley, whatever. But a lot of these other guys aren't press release guys. They really struggle. NWI is no different. And NWI, I feel like if you were going to catapult him to 2 or 3, he's really going to struggle. Now look at what happened to Tyler Boyd last year. I mean, this guy came in with 65 receptions from the Bengals, and he comes in here last year, and I mean, he'd be lucky to get 2 receptions a game. You know what I'm saying? So he struggled, Tyler Boyd, and that's why Tyler Boyd on the Pro Football Focus rankings is 139 and NWI was 125. So shout out to the Dolphins. They do got a really good guy. Mason Kinsey and NWI came in together. They were the longest Titans around. And again, NWI has done nothing but good things for Tennessee. I have nothing bad to say about him. Will I miss NWI? Yeah, I will actually miss NWI. But it still doesn't excuse me that I need to pay NWI. I mean, my gosh, Tennessee would even pay NWI over $3 million a year. Let that sink in a little bit, everybody. They wouldn't even be willing to pay that much for NWI. I mean, he deserved a contract for all that he's been through over the years for Tennessee. And they still showed him the door. No, thank you. You take our $2 million offer or whatever it is. I don't even know if they offered him anything. But good for him. He'll go to Miami. As Kinsey says, he'll be fine. Okay? He'll excel. He'll do some good things. Stonehouse, a little different argument. I get it. Stonehouse, the hang time and yada, yada, yada. You didn't care about the hang time when he took care of Kern back in the day. And this is the only thing. Yes, we do pick up the punter from Carolina. Used to be a Ram. He's an all-pro. He's a Pro Bowler. All those things. There's no disrespect there. We immediately pick him up. But the thing is with him, which is kind of shocking to me, he's 35-year-old and it's 1 year. You still have a kicker on the roster, Nick Folk, who's 41. And I don't know how long this guy's going to last. So again, at the end of the day, I feel like I know what we're doing, but then on the other end, I don't really know what we're doing. Like Stonehouse, is he hurt? Is that a concern? You're really starting to see some things. Let's get to some comments before we finish out the rest of these topics here. As boom, there we go. We moved on to the number one. We got good evening upload, says Jay. Al says tighten up, go Titans, kick massive tail. Clayton letting Stonehouse hit free agency was shocking to me. Shocking to me too. And I know they picked up a new punter. Good. I mean, that's great. Okay. I kid, but last year, Will Levis, he more worried about throwing it to the other team. We didn't really need a punter. So hopefully we have some sort of offense this year and our defense, does whatever. And maybe, field position's a thing and punter maybe will be more relevant. Mr. Producer, shout out to him. Are we going to sign any wide receiver or pass rusher? What are they doing? I don't know. But there's some guys coming off the board. Again, you get into this rebuild, and there's a lot of the media guys. This is the new thing, the new thing. You got these media guys from the Titans basically saying cutting corners. They're a Broadway sports guy. Cutting corners. That's what the Titans have done for years, this guy says. And now all of a sudden they're going to get rid of NWI. They're going to get rid of Stonehouse, and they're done cutting corners. What does that even mean? I mean, these guys are young guys. What are you talking about cutting corners? How about cutting corners by signing a 30-year-old safety? How about that? That's cutting corners. Or how about cutting corners signing a punter who's 35 years old for a one-year deal? How about that? That's cutting corners. I have no idea what these guys are even going on and on about, but I kind of figure. You know what I mean? Everybody loves Stonehouse until he's gone. Everybody loves NWI till he's gone. And that's just the common trend around here. And I'm sick of it. Whatever. Sport legend, yes. We're sticking with Levis. Oh, dear Lord. Jesse, bad, and more bad. Stonehouse, why? Jesse says, shouldn't have fired Rand. And here's the thing, Jesse. This isn't a show for me to pump up Rand. Okay, I'm not getting into Rand Carthon. There's no disrespect here with Rand Carthon. But if you're starting to see more and more, it's a new thing going on. Free agents who sign. Adam Schefter is on this kick now. I don't know if he's getting kicked back, but he's on this kick now where he's giving the agents and the firms credit for getting the deals done. This is new. I've not seen this before. But even yesterday, when the Titans signed their big deal with their left tackle, Dan Moore from Pittsburgh, $82 million man, they gave credit to some firm, and they also gave credit for working the deal out with Chad Brinker. Again, I know people are glossing over it online. They're not making a big deal. Only one making a big deal of is Jared Stillman, and it is what it is. But isn't it kind of funny? You got a GM now in Berganzi, and yet Adam Schefter and the firm or the agencies are giving credit for the deal getting done to Chad Brinker. So I saved the tweet. Whatever that call it, bookmark the tweet or whatever, because when push comes to shove and this left tackle ends up flopping as a 26-year-old, and I hope it works out. This is no disrespect. But if it doesn't work out, doesn't pan out, and Berganzi gets fired, I'm going to be a little livid. I'm going to be a little upset. I'm not going to lie. Michael says Will Levis sucks. Another bad year for Tennessee. Tighten up. Bills signed Joey Bosa. Did they really? Oh, my goodness. I did not see that tighten up, but the Bills are spending some money. They feel like they're going to go get it. So, I mean, they've been feeling like that for like the last 5 years, but hey, another year, man. NWI, thanks for your service for sure. Beal, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you in the comment, and I love the shirts, man. Says, I have no answer. Use check. We'll see what Super Juggernaut. We'll see what happens there. Bosa to the Bills. You guys called it. Jesse, if it was up to me, I would have already fired the GM. C3 and me says Titans should draft Ward. Try and draft Restrepo, the wide receiver from Miami. That would be electric. I have some mixed feelings on him. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get good vibes from the Senior Bowl from him, but I still think, if you put him and Ward together, whatever about my stupid vibes. David says, this doesn't look like they're drafting Ward. This is a complete rebuild. It's going to take multiple off seasons to be competitive again. Why waste 2 years of Ward's rookie deal? That's an interesting point, right? Cam says, Jay says, Cam's coming. Sloan, I was all in on drafting Travis Hunter. After today, I want Cam Ward or Sanders now. It's interesting, Sloan. Why would you say such a thing? Let me know. Let me know. Seriously. The Borgonzi Nation says, Jay, sports legend, I still believe in Levis. It's Calden's fault. You mean Callahan's fault? Just normally never negative, but I feel like we're just going backwards. Alex says we're obviously cutting anyone connected to Vrabel. I think you would also with Rand, too. So keep that in mind. Gus says, questionable process so far, better results. I did leave you guys in the poll question to see what you guys ultimately thought. And I don't know what you guys thought because I don't have the poll question pulled up here. But I'm working on pulling the poll question up. And let's see. Poll question. Here we go. Poll question. Moving on here. It says, after day 2, do you feel the Titans are on the right track? Yes or no? And right now we got 40 votes already, and 44% of you are saying no. That's interesting. Definitely interesting. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Just have to fix some dad stuff here. You know, I got to be a dad. Let me be a dad, fix the internet here. Yada, yada, yada. I got my Wi-Fi app on Xfinity. This is no plug for them. But yeah, Wi-Fi, Xfinity, trying to help out so the kids can do their homework. How about that? Upload, trying to get some things done here and talk Titans and do homework for the kids at the same time to allow them to be who they need to be. So you probably didn't expect to see that coming, didn't you? But again, kids come first here on the channel. You guys know that, family-friendly channel. Let's fix the schedules. Here we go. Night schedule. Boom, 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 boom. And we'll save it. Boom. It should be good. So let's keep going. Titans South. Maybe the Titans are quiet in free agency because they're going to pull something off in the draft. Well, they do have the number 1 pick. Von Miller's old. I don't know, guys. I salute the Pops. I don't know if I want Von Miller. So let's get to the next one. Xavier Woods. I am shocked on this. I am completely shocked. So the Titans do bad things and get rewarded from your graciousness. It's shocking. It's your call. Your opinion, you do you. Here's the thing. They struck out with Holland. It's fact. They struck out. They lost the bid to the Giants. Okay? The Giants outbidded them. Push come to shove. You're talking about Holland being a younger guy. If you're wanting to rebuild, seems to be more of a guy who would bring more upside than the guy they went with. Okay? But it didn't stop there. Then we went after Reed from the Chiefs. That didn't work out. We got beat out there by, I believe, the Saints, maybe? I don't know. But another team beat us out there. It has been listed the Titans were involved and the Titans were trying in the process. We knew the Titans were very heavily in the safety market. Makes sense. They need a safety, and they can't just rely on Mike Brown or whatever, right? So when you look at it, they struck out with 2 guys, so they got the fallback guy. Now all of a sudden, Xavier Woods is like the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, what? So, okay. So I had to look up Xavier Woods. And again, I think I did it on Twitter, Titan Upload. You can follow me on Twitter. I already went here. I don't know if I got much backlash on it. Usually people just ignore me, and that's totally fine. I don't really have a lot of participation when it comes to X, and it's fine. I speak my mind. That's what it is. On this channel, I'm a little bit more, I get fired up at watch parties, but I'm a little more laid back. So I got Quandre Diggs versus, obviously, Xavier Woods. Those are the 2 I'm comparing. And again, I'll get to the point of the Titans, and I know why the Titans went to the direction that they wanted to go. Diggs right now, Pro Football Focus, is ranked 130. Let's see. Our other guy that we just picked up is ranked of like 140 something. I think it is. Xavier Woods. But when you compare them, this is quite interesting. So Xavier Woods, again, we'll get into the next bad versus good. But when you look at Xavier Woods, I'm shocked on this. The one thing that stands out to Xavier Woods is 2 things. Number 1, he doesn't ever rest. He always plays, which is great. It's so great. So you got kids. Maybe you don't got kids. Maybe you were a kid once. Obviously, you were in school. So I'm gonna view it like this. You take your kid. He's flunking. He's got an F. maybe a high F, but he's got an F. Here's the cool thing about your kid that's flunking that's got an F. They turn every assignment in. They don't miss one thing. They do all the tests. They do all the quizzes. They do all the homework. They do all the participation. They do all the extra credit. They do everything imaginable. And here's the best part. Because in this day and age, when it comes to school, attendance, at least in Illinois, seems to be lacking. Your kid is there every single day. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Kid's there every day. Doesn't miss a day, doesn't miss an assignment. Perfect kid. Okay? Versus a kid who's got a C. He's not there every day. He doesn't turn in every homework assignment. And heck, I don't even know if he does every test or quiz. But he's got a C. It's not fair. You know how college was. You got some moron that never shows up a day in his life to class. He shows up, and he just hypothetically knows when the tests are, shows up and gets Ace. And then it's like, wait, I'm here struggling my butt off, trying to pass this economics class, and this kid is never freaking here, and this kid ends up getting a B and I get a D. How is life fair? Well, life ain't fair. So my question to all of you is, when you look at Xavier Woods, it's great that this guy never misses a game. It's great that this guy's played in 1,100 whatever snaps it is. But his overall grade is a 57. He has 14 missed tackles. He ranks 153rd in safeties and missed tackles. He has 88 solo tackles. So out of 88 solo tackles, 28 assisted tackles, this guy, 14 missed tackles. So what I'm saying, hey, 30 years old, roughly 29 something, going to be 30. Man, you better not let anybody catch the ball. He does have a pass rate of 93, which is good, but you better not give up any receptions. You better hope that nobody runs past the linebackers, because this guy is not going to be, he's going to be on the field, but I'm not sure he's going to basically tackle you. And that is a concern. Everybody's overlooking it. It is what it is. Then you look at Quandre Diggs, which, yeah, he's the kid that's never there. Well, he's there some of the time, right? 400 some snaps, 419 total snaps, which isn't great. 83rd ranked, by the way. But his overall grade's a 73. So that's what he's got going for him, all right? He only has 37 tackles. His passer rating's lousy at 138. Yards per reception, 9.2 compared to 9.7. Missed tackles, it's only got 2. So there's that. Again, I am not getting into, like I said, I think that what the Titans are doing, what gets your comments, is this. The Titans are saying, hey, Rand Carthon, which Chad Brinker was involved in this in his cancer model for whatever. And then you have the whole thing with John Robinson and Vrabel. The things that really plagued them, even Rand, even though he's just kind of a late bloomer to the situation, was injuries and people being accountable. But honestly, I think it's a fair question to ask you guys. Okay, I get being accountable. I get playing. I'm ecstatic about that. But if your guys are playing 24/7 and they're not missing a snap, but they're just not that good, would you rather? I mean, I don't know. I think it's a fair question to say, would you rather have guys who might be more of an injury risk but better players versus guys who are going to be accountable but they're not good players? Okay, Jared Stillman's funny because yesterday he's ranting and raving about how this Moore is an average player. Today I turn on the radio, he's saying he's below average. How did he change in a day, Jared? Oh my gosh, let me get to some of your comments. Again, we're going strong. 82 of you here. Don't forget, tighten up that like. Help us out, man. Help out the channel. Hit the like button. That's the least you could do. It's the least you could do. I mean, I helped my kids with homework, man, as the show was going on. So, yeah, if you could hit that like button, we appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you. So we got into the poll question real quick one more time, just giving you guys an opportunity to vote in the poll. Again, the poll question, if I could put it on here, if I can get past this ad. After day 2, do you feel like the Titans are on the right direction? Again, 36% unsure, 46 or 41% say no, only 23% say yes. And why is that? You guys can leave a comment. Just say, hey, the reason why, or just put why, and just put a dash or something and let me know your reasoning. I would love to hear it. For me personally, I'm going more no. I'm unsure, but obviously going more no than yes, because I thought the whole purpose of having a GM now was to help us build the football team. And hearing Adam Schefter give credit to Chad Brinker again, he had his face in everything last year, and he got a pass, and Rand got thrown to the Wolves. Again, whether you think it's fair or it's not fair, I get it. Whatever. It's your argument. Maybe you don't like him sleeping on a plane. I get it. Whatever. But you can't ignore the fact that Chad Brinker was involved in every single decision, at least on the website it says it. And here we go again, right away, picking up a $82 million man to play left tackle, which is fine. I get it. Move JC, admit your mistake on left tackle, move him to right. But it's like Chad Brinker's getting all the credit again. So I don't know, man. Steven says, after Buffalo Bills scored Joey Bosa, Mike Berganzi better wise up and score Von Miller. Again, I don't want older players. I want younger players. So I get not having NWI around because I didn't think he was capable of being number 2. But getting rid of NWI and replacing him with 30-year-olds, I don't know how that's moving us in the right direction. I don't know how that's building the team. Okay? The one thing I was told is you build the team up front. Offensive line. You go out and get a lineman. I mean, I don't completely agree with it, but I get it, right? They needed help. Finally, after 3 or 4 years, they wise up and realize they need tackles, a left and a right, and they need them to work quickly. They can't just ignore it and throw it with Dillard, Duncan, Daly, or whoever the heck they were putting over there, NPF, Jalen Duncan, Andre. I mean, it was just a disaster. Let's see. Move on. Draft Ward says Amar. Ario says, scratching my head at the Titans move. Again, I'm shocked on some of them too. DW75, to me, trading out a 1 is the only way for more picks. So we'll get to that in a minute. I promise you, DW. Scooter Kelly says, Vrabel's going to get everybody we let go. And No Face Retro Gamer says, I feel like the Titans overpaid for an O-lineman and allowed 12 sacks last year, but Steelers do have trash quarterbacks. So we'll talk a little bit about this in a minute. Pig, Titan up to you. Shocked they were going for Holland. First place. And again, to let him go to the Giants, it's hard, man. And then you missed out. You strike out with Reed, and it's like you settle. And now all of a sudden, I'm supposed to feel great about it. No, I don't feel great about it. And nor do I need to feel great about it. No Face says Moore played a ton of snaps. He did. And stats are going to be skewed. But at the same time, I've seen some film of him. I've seen the schedule that nobody talks about, by the way. Nobody talks about the schedule. They're always like, oh, look at Fields. He plays better with a mobile quarterback. True. But we went over the schedule yesterday. I challenge you to go look up the schedule because their schedule to start the season was awful. The first 8 games, awful. And okay, great. He did great against awful teams. Second half of the year started trending downward. And again, these were the stuff yesterday I looked up, and we'll move on to the next one here with our 24-hour, now that we have 24 hours to mull over the Dan Moore, picking him up in free agency. These were the words that came across when I was trying to research him across Steeler Nation. Now, the good news, played a lot of snaps, played every snap. That's awesome. He was a guy who they thrown in too soon, I was told. Just like we did with Brownlee. Brownlee, it wasn't fair that he was playing number 1 corner at times. But, our rookie cornerback was supposed to be our 4. And it's not fair, but he did a decent job. I thought he did a good job. Okay? And he was no issue, no cancer whatsoever in the locker room. So those are all pluses in his category. All right? Here's Steeler Nation. Inconsistent. Wild that they found out we signed him. Comp pick they were more excited about. Overpays words they use. Insane of what the Titans would do. Disappeared in games. Low bar. Dumb. Fleece. That's what we got. Here's the thing. And I went on a tirade about it yesterday. I'll go on a tirade about it tonight. We got to get out of the double standard of being Titan fans. We just do, okay? We can't live in the world of glass, half empty, half full with everything we do. It just doesn't work. We can't, on one end, make fun of New England and Vrabel about Landry and why you would pay Landry all this money. Because we would know more about Landry than New England would. Not Vrabel, but fans. That's what I'm talking about, fans, right? And I would also I'm going to say this. And maybe you don't agree, but I'm going to have your back on this one. I think any of you in here who's a Titans fan right now knows more than anybody in the media over in the Boston market. Okay? You just do. Now, they might have a little bit more on us because obviously Landry went to Boston College, so they got the whole college factor. But for the most part, we know more about Landry than anybody knows. Okay? But that is also true the other way around. So when guys come from different teams, Kenneth Murray Jr., okay, Andre Dillard, and they try to warn us, dude, you guys can get excited about Andre Dillard, but he's terrible. He flat out sucks. You're going to regret it. Guess what? We regretted it. Charger fans last year told us, I don't know why you guys are getting so excited over there in Tennessee with Kenneth Murray Jr. The guy can blitz, but he can't tackle and he can't cover. Good luck with him. Sure enough, man. Just blow him up in training camp. Make him look like the greatest thing ever. Because every time he did something positive in training camp, he blitzed. And that's his strength. Now, I'm going to say he outseated my expectations. But he's still a guy that might get released yet still. And he's not a guy that we definitely could count on in the year. We found that out. Now, Steeler fans were wrong about Rudolph. But were they? Because guess what? The latest rumor is the Titans might want to bring back Mason Rudolph. Yeah, let that one sink in. So let me know how you feel about Dan Moore. 26-year-old, 82, only $50 roughly million only. So the first 2 years are pretty much locked in with this dude. It gets you a chance to move the J.C. Latham to right. Now, I think J.C. Latham's going to be fine at right tackle. That's where he probably should have been all along. And there were a lot of us that were like, oh, yeah, it's so easy to move left from right. And Callahan we trust. But honestly, we see how difficult it was. And maybe we give Saban a little more credit for not moving him to left at Alabama and keeping him at right. But J.C.'s going to be fine. I'm not really worried about him at right tackle. But I am still concerned at left. Because left tackle still could be a concern. Because this guy, although he's there. That's the thing, too. Like, when you're rebuilding, and I get it, spending all this money, but Pittsburgh's, like, throwing their hands up like, we're not paying $82 million for this guy. He's a $14 million guy, maybe. You're going to pay him $20+ million a season? I mean, we'll just go draft another guy in the 4th round, and we'll be fine. That's the thing we got to eventually get to as a franchise. It's okay to draft players and keep them in the system. Like that's the thing we're going to have to focus on. So Borgonzi and Chad Brinker or whatever, that's the thing I want to see. I want to see us build a machine here, a machine of offensive linemen. It's not about going out and just signing these 30-year-old guys to fill. That is not rebuilding, everyone. So I don't know what the media is smoking today about talking about us rebuilding all this stuff. What are we rebuilding here? The 35-year-old punter and a 41-year-old kicker. That's not rebuilding. Oh, my gosh. Thomas says 4 primetime games locked up guaranteed. Thomas says, yes. Shout out to Eddie George, by the way. Can we give Eddie George a shout out? Oiler Titan, it goes whoever's better looking. Juan says, best thing about free agency is they played most the snap. That's true. But again, my argument is, okay, if you got a guy, I guess the homework, I don't know if that homework thing did anything for you, but if you got a guy that does everything you want him and shows up and does everything, but he's just not that good, versus a guy that's good but isn't there all the time, I mean, there's your argument. I don't know which one's better than the other. Let Brinker tinker. I like that one, Derps. That's good, buddy. Good to see you, Derps. Day, we need edge rushers and wide receivers. We do. We're going to look at those here in a minute. Shout out to Moore's agent. Yeah, I mean, he deserves a shout out for all that he got. Focus, I don't know what we're doing. Got to go get Cam right now. Unless we're doing a screw 2025, we're banking on 2023, baby. I don't know. I mean, I think you talked about this. I'll talk about it a little bit more. we have to be able to move down and get picks, but you're not always guaranteed. That's the thing. Don't forget to help us out. We got almost 100 in here. You guys could help us out by tightening up that like button, helping us get to 50 likes before the end of the show, kind of like what we used to do back in the day. Poll question for all of you to answer. We almost got 100 in the poll question. After today, after day 2, do you feel the Titans are moving in the right direction? It's starting to go up a little bit. 22% yes, 38% say no, and 41% are unsure. If Dillard, Murray Jr., and other free agents the Titans have signed and hype up over the last few years were any good, there wouldn't have been any free agents. And Captain Tripp says, hey, he will be happy not seeing Myles Garrett twice a year. True, but Will Anderson's no puppy chow either here. Come on. So, I mean, again, the other argument here is, well, he faced great talent at Pittsburgh. Guys, 26-year-old left tackle, if you want to be good and you're going to make the playoffs, you're going to have to play some good teams. Okay? Because if this whole thing is just make the playoffs and get destroyed and kind of end up like the whole Houston Texans philosophy, no offense to them, I don't know. I guess we could be Colt fans, though. Colt fans are really interesting cats over there in Indianapolis, or should I say horses. I mean, they're getting excited about Daniel freaking Jones. I had to say, what today? What are we doing? Getting excited about Daniel Jones. But then again, the rumor is the Titans are interested in Carson Wentz. There will be half the fan base that will be excited about Carson Wentz. You just wait for it. And those half were ones that were making fun of Colt fans 24/7, man, when Carson Wentz was just peeing down his leg in Indianapolis. And he's a Titan now. We're going to the other one is Mason Rudolph. Pick your poison, man. Cam Ward better be a stud. Fisher, Titans got to cook in the draft, and they need more picks. They got 2 4th-rounders, 2 5th-rounders. A lot of comp picks going in there, so push down the draft board. And then we got some people or some sixes down the line, and we don't have a third, which kind of stinks. So, again, some people are saying we'll pick Ward, we'll trade out in the second round, maybe not entirely, or move down the board and try to pick up another third, but they got to do some stuff. Upload, not going to lie, I'm feeling some type of way about Stonehouse. He was legit. Brinker or Baganzi to blame. I have to look it up because I believe, and I could be wrong by this, not 100% sure, but I thought Stonehouse, based on where he was free agent-wise, they could have basically signed him for nothing. Now, I could be wrong by this. I could be totally wrong about Stonehouse. And I get it. They bring in a 6-time All-Pro, Johnny Boy Hecker, right? And again, my son was super pumped about this guy, and there's no disrespect to him whatsoever. All right? No disrespect. It's just he's 35 years old. It's a 1-year deal. And apparently, for what I was told, Stonehouse had better hang time than this guy last year. But I'm supposed to get behind it. Stonehouse is 25 years old. 25 years old. And so many throwing him under the bus. One I'm shocked with. I like him. He's very vocal. But even he was running his mouth about him. That's our buddy Sal. From Sick Podcast. Even he was kind of like, yeah, well, I don't know, whatever with Stonehouse. Get over it, right? Stonehouse, 25 years old. But yet, I got to go and hear my buddy JT from Broadway Sports tell me how the Tennessee Titans now are moving in the right direction by tearing this up and doing full rebuild and not cutting corners because of not bringing back NWI or Stonehouse. I am just shocked out of my mind. Now, I get it. The people, whatever, but I looked at that tweet today and I'm like, oh my gosh, what? Number one, what does that even mean? And number two, how does that make sense? We are reloading, going for 4 wins next year. Oh, that's hilarious. That's a good one. I like that. Benjamin Harris, how many wins do we need to keep Callahan? I feel bad for Callahan. I'm not going to feel as bad as for him that I did back in the day, when we had Mike Mularkey and he just got totally screwed. But I do feel bad for Callahan. I do, honestly. I don't Still debatable if I like him as head coach, but yeah, I'll feel bad for him. Focus one, we got to grab a wild free agent. It will make us better. Are there any left? Let's talk about that since we got you guys here before we leave. So quarterback, you still got Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. Brissett's gone. I don't even know if this is completely. Mason Rudolph. The two people I heard today, and you guys have heard too, are Carson Wentz and Mason Rudolph. No offense to Mason Rudolph, but right? I'd rather have Marcus Mariota back at this point. That's what I would rather do. But at the end of the day, I don't see us getting Aaron Rodgers. I don't see us getting Russell Wilson. Not that I want either one of those guys. Jacoby Brissett's gone. Cardinal fans are super pumped about him. I don't know why. Mac Jones, I guess, is still sitting there. But that's something where I think everybody knows, right? Like, it's Cam Ward. I think everything's been officially done. Polymarket would back us up on that. When we go down to, let's go to receiver. Receivers one. And this one's not fully updated. We know Slayton's gone. Godwin's gone. Adams, Hopkins, gone. Shout out to Hopkins. Good for him. Watson, Jones, all gone. Even Mac Hollins signed with the New England Patriots. NWI's gone. De'Ami Brown's gone. Tutu Atwell re-signed. Again, you got Brandon Cooks. You got Scantling. You got Hardman. Elijah Moore. Now, Elijah Moore would be one. You got a lot of people super pumped about him. Josh Palmer went to the Bills, but Elijah Moore would be one where, like, hey, look, like, have him sign for minimum, duke it out with Jaquan Jackson, and just see who comes up on top there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's to the point I'm at right now with wide receiver. Keenan Allen's old. I mean, he's a good guy. I don't want him. Stephon Diggs, that ain't going to work with this philosophy, what we're doing here with playing games. Amari Cooper would be a guy that I would somewhat be interested in. Tyler Lockett, I think he's old too. Robert Woods, we're not going to play that back. So, again, I think if we look at any of these guys, for me personally, maybe I can talk myself into, I don't know. I Noah Brown, I was kind of high on him last year, and I don't know about right now. But like I said, look, Elijah Moore might be one that I just at least take a flyer on. The Jets are a mess, so maybe something would work. And then you look at edge. Edge is concerning and scary because there are edge guys available, but I don't know which edge guy is. Joey Bosa's gone. Zadarius Smith, I think he's getting old, right? Did Aziz El-Julari, or whatever his name is, did he end up going out of the Giants? Did he go somewhere? Maybe he'd be one. I remember Broshmo and Draft_Brian talking about this guy back in the day. Maybe it's worth a flyer on, but there's not a lot of guys out there. Oiler Titans says Titans got rid of 9 TDs, NWI 9 sacks from Landry, and signed to no one at crazy prices. Yes, NWI is gone. He is with Miami. Richie said after today, the worst team in the NFL doing the worst things in football. What exactly are the Titans trying to do? Rebuild, retool? I don't know. Media is pushing the rebuild, but I don't know how you rebuild with a 35-year-old punter and again, having a 41-year-old kicker on your roster. I don't know. And bringing in a 30-year-old safety. I don't know how that's rebuild. Jay realizes that at this rate, they're looking for a 3-year rebuild for the Titans. They got to be faster, though. Amy's going to want it done by next year for the new stadium. Indiana Jones. Oh, dear Lord. Super Juggernaut Tim Patrick. He's tall. Beal, what's up, buddy? He says, if we get Sanders, would it be better for the new stadium sales? It would. And that's an interesting, too, because I've said, and I'll say it one more time, like, the Titans, it could be a point. I brought this up last night. The Titans could have possibly came out and said, hey, look, we want to do this. We want to trade the pick. Not sure that's accurate. Obviously, based on what the Browns have done, based on what the Raiders have done, based on, I don't even know, maybe the Jets, what they've done with Fields. Seems like everybody realizes the Titans aren't trading the pick. Polymarket, like I said, Cam Ward's going one, whether that's Giants or the Titans. I think right now the Giants are the only ones in denial. They still think they have a chance to move up to one. Doesn't seem like it, okay? But what could have happened at the Combine? Neither of them threw. Neither of them participated in drills. They did interview. I guess Ward threw on the sideline. Yay. But my thing was, we'll never know this, did Amy, because of all the just popularity of Cam Ward all of a sudden, Everybody was talking about Cam Ward at the combine. Did Amy say, hey, we got a new stadium coming? There's something about having a young quarterback, a pick number 1 quarterback. You guys have watched Draft Day. You know how it is, right? Sonny make a splash. Could Amy have stepped in and said, hey, we're taking Cam Ward number 1? But I guess on your point too, like I guess she could say you're taking Sanders 1, and they would have to listen to her. They would. Drayden. This team needs to draft Hunter. He can play quarterback, pass to himself, even defend himself. I do like him, though. I do. David says they are not drafting Sanders for tickets. I mean, Amy could do otherwise. And REKT says Rand would have made splasher hits. He would have, but they all didn't work out, of course. But that's what we got. So, again, just to sum it up, we got 100 strong in here. We're going to flip gears and go to a short, talk all NFL free agency. But I wanted to do a show just for you, for the Titans, because I love you guys. And again, NWI Stonehouse gone. I don't really care so much about NWI, although I think it would have been nice to be able to sign him if they were just going to give him away for $3 million. I just didn't want to give him 7 or 8 and make him the number 2. But heck, I would have made him 4 still on the team. I thought that would have been productive. Great guy. It would be great to have around, right? And he's still young. Then Stonehouse, which we found out was 25 years old. Unless this guy's hurt that I don't know about, which I guess he could be. I am shocked on that one. And apparently the guy we brought in, which, yeah, he's got a great history. But you know who else has a great history? He just, signed a head coaching job at Bowling Green. But it doesn't mean we got to bring Eddie George back, right? So apparently Stonehouse had a higher, I can't confirm this officially, but it had a better hang time than the guy we just got, and he's 35 years old and it's only for a year. So maybe they're going to, maybe they're just going to draft a guy. And then we moved on to Xavier Woods. Again, it's not that I don't like him. I do like what they're trying to do. The Titans are trying to bring in guys who are going to be accountable and play. They want you to play. Now, I don't know in the long run if that's going to mean more wins, because the 2 guys that I have an example as, the safety and the left tackle, I can't say are great players. I can't say they're good players. Honestly, I mean, they're by all accounts, they're probably average players. At least with the left tackle, even though they cost way more, $82 million, he's at least 26 years old. But again, I go back to like the Steeler model, and a lot of these good teams, they just draft guys. They draft guys. And if they really need somebody, they can still go get them. And we just haven't had that. And it sucks. I'll be quite honest. I mean, I would have rather just drafted a guy in the 3rd or 4th round to play a left tackle or right tackle or to compete at left or right tackle. It's just not in our DNA. And if we do take a tackle early, we either move them to right or left, or we move them to guard. And that's kind of been where we've been. Or we'll take a flyer on a guy in the 6th round. These guys don't always work. Obviously, Jalen Duncan didn't work. The boy tree in the house, I'd rather see Eddie George at Ohio State after he leaves Bowling Green. Could happen. I mean, Eddie got some opportunities with the Chicago Bears, which I actually loved. I love the Bears gave him an interview, but I also love the fact that Eddie took it. So I don't really know what Eddie was really trying to do at Tennessee State when he first took the gig. I have no idea. I know he's an actor, and he was kind of all over the place, but he's really seemed to find some passion. He's a great motivator. He's a great talker, and I'm excited. The only thing I'm frustrated about is I'm like an hour from Northern Illinois, and now being credentialed at the Senior Bowl with like taking pictures and video. I mean, if Bowling Green obviously played in the MAC with Northern, would have came to Northern, I mean, I could have went right up to Northern Illinois and probably met Eddie George, which would have been awesome. But Northern Illinois screwed that up because now they're joining, I don't know, the WAC or something out west, or Mountain West or WAC, I don't know. But they're going to be playing schools like Hawaii now and all out west. So they're going in a totally different direction. Stevie, BOE, Gordy TV says, should we be a Duncan? Try Duncan at guard. No. Oh, and by the way, I guess we were never a player for Fries, by the way. He went for a lot of money, too, for Washington. So, again, you guys were awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Don't forget to help us out. Tighten up that like button on your way out of here. But, again, Tennessee Titans, again, after the show's over, let me know how you feel. Let me know. You know, right now, poll question before we're out. After day 2, do you feel the Titans are on the right track? Yes, no, or unsure. We have over 100 votes. That's awesome. Yes, 21%. No, 37%. 42% unsure. I think 42% is a healthy answer there. I don't think you're wrong. No, maybe we're being a little too judgmental, but I could also argue that, yes, after 2 days of free agency, you're ready to claim, yeah, we're going the right direction. I think probably the answer, unsure, is where we're at. And I don't have enough positives. I like what they're doing again by bringing these guys in who play. They're not hurt. And the Titans have an injury problem. But I wish they were just better players. That's kind of what I hope. All right. You guys take care. Tighten up. We'll see you soon. We're going to switch over to a short. Well, there we go. Take care, everybody.